Here is everything to know when planning a trip to the Maldives. Now, I've done two very different versions of the Maldives. I've done like the kind of backpacker budget trip where you're on a ship and you sail the atolls. And I've also done the exclusive luxury overwater bungalows. And I'm happy to say that there's something for everyone here, whether you're on a budget or looking to go all out. Both options have their advantages and disadvantages, and here's everything you should know. So a couple general things to know. If you want to swim with whale sharks year-round, you're going to want to stay in the South Ari Atoll. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But there's one specific atoll in the Maldives that you'll have to take a seaplane to most of the resorts over there. But it's the one region where whale sharks are found throughout the year. I tried to do it when we were there, but unfortunately we had a few days of bad weather and every tour I tried to join was canceled. But that was okay because the underwild wildlife and the Maldives was the most insane out of the 50-some countries I've been. You can see everything. Manta rays, stingrays, sea turtles, finding Nemo fish, and you can all see it within a couple of hours on a good day. There's also a ton of shipwrecks and a ton of sharks that you can swim with here. We swam with leopard sharks, nurse sharks, black tip sharks, white tip sharks. It was kind of crazy. Now, snorkel excursions are one of the huge perks of seeing the Maldives by boat instead of by a resort. There are two different boat options you can choose from. There's like a more budget-friendly version. I actually hosted a group trip there with G Adventures, and it was $1,800 per person, all meals included for 7 days. But you can also choose more expensive yacht-like boats that will give the same effect. Now, the huge benefit for this is that you didn't have to pay any additional money for snorkeling excursions, where if you're staying at a resort, you're going to probably be paying $300 to $500 per person for a single excursion. And trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to do multiple excursions, which if budget is a factor and you're already paying a lot of money to staying at one of the resorts, the boats have a huge advantage here. You just get to see so much more of the country. You're not just stuck on one island and having to take small excursions. We sailed through 3 atolls. We stayed at our own private uninhabited islands in the middle of the ocean. We'd have remote sandbars all to ourselves for sunset. Just really those once in a lifetime experiences that you're either going to be paying an arm and a leg for a resort for a private excursion, but is all typically included when you sail. Now for the resort overwater bungalow portion, we stayed at the Radisson Blu. It was fantastic, one of the best hotel stays in my life, and I've stayed in a lot of luxury resorts for my job. Now the big question is, are the overwater bungalows worth the price tag? And as a budget travel girly who usually doesn't splurge, I'm here to tell you that yes, they are worth every cent. And I would stay at one of these bougie-ass resorts again in a heartbeat. Now, when you're looking at resorts, you have to pay attention to one crucial detail that a lot of them try to hide. And that's, do they require a seaplane? So when you fly into the Maldives, you fly into the city of Malé, which can be located a far distance away from some of the resorts on different atolls. So sometimes a seaplane is required to get there. Other resorts can be reached by ferry, which takes a little longer, but it saves a ton of money. The seaplane transfer for a 20-minute plane ride is incredibly scenic, but it can run as high as $1,000 per person. So again, if budget is not a factor, doesn't really matter, but for a lot of people it probably is, and a seaplane can rack up the budget a lot.